Hey everybody, I really miss you and I look forward to seeing you whenever this whole COVID and quarantine thing is over. So for chapel today, the upcoming senior members of SEC have been asked to discuss some challenges with y'all for over the summer. And I hope that y'all watch the end and really take to heart everything that is said. So I'm going to be talking about being intentional with all the relationships over the summer. I think sometimes we can take the opportunity to be with people and really bond for granted. And I know I have. Being in quarantine has shown me just how important it is to be intentional with your relationships and really just bond with each other on a deeper level than we're usually used to. Looking back on last school year, I wish I would have seized the opportunity to build my relationship with all of you. I didn't realize how important our time at Trinity is until we had to do at-home learning and couldn't see each other every day. I'm especially sad that I didn't take the time to get to know the seniors better, because now they'll be going off to college and seeing them won't be a normal part of my day. And I'm never going to get the time back that I could have had building my relationship with them. In Psalm 139:16, it says, "You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed." And so as you're going about your summer break and you and your friends inevitably hang out, I encourage you to take those times seriously and try to build a strong bond with the people around you. As it said in the scripture, God gave us those days and gave us those times to be with our friends and our family to really bond together. And so we need to be good stewards of that time by taking advantage of being able to be with people and building up a relationship with them, whether that be like with your friends or your family or whoever that is. And so one of the very few good things that have come from COVID is that I've gotten to spend a lot of time with my family, and it's shown me like how important that time is and how I need to start being more serious about my time with my family and not just pushing it off as something I get to do every day, but really treasuring that time because I'm not going to always be with my family. I think this also applies to our time with God. It says in the first part of James 4:8, "Come close to God and God will come close to you." We come close to God by actively pursuing Him through worship or prayer or reading the Bible. So I would recommend that all of y'all find a spot in your daily routine that you can fit in spending time in the Word and spending time in prayer and worshiping. I think we all kind of think it has to be early in the morning, and it really doesn't. I myself find it better to do it in the night because that's just works best for me. I have more time to myself and my whole family's not running around my house. So whenever you find that time, and whenever you find that spot in your house, whenever you can just be alone and really get into the Word, I encourage you to keep up with that every day. And don't just look at it as a chore or, something you have to check off a checklist. Look at it as a privilege that you get to spend time with the God of the universe, and He wants to spend time with you every day and commune with you. So to conclude my part in this chapel, when you're spending time with your family or friends or God, make sure that you're intentional in building up those relationships and strengthening them. I hope to see y'all soon. I hope you have a great rest of your school year and a great summer. See y'all.
Hey guys, I miss you all, and I just want to encourage you guys with the idea of don't waste your wilderness. So we probably all heard of the story of the Israelites and how God brought them out of Egypt and into their own promised land, but in between those two places, He kept them in the wilderness for 40 years. So it wasn't an immediate fulfillment of the promise. And then in Deuteronomy 8:2, Moses tells Israel, "Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and to test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep His commands." And so in that we can see that God used this wilderness season to just refine the hearts of those people and to work in them. And He has used many other seasons like this, and He's using the season we're in right now, this wilderness season with all the corona stuff, to refine us and to work in us in order to, one, bring us closer to Him, also to prepare us for the next season, and then also to really just get to the core of what's in our heart and to refine that and to bring out more of a need to trust Him and also to strengthen our faith. And so it's definitely clear that God does use seasons like this for His purpose, and So I just encourage all of us to really grasp how cool of an opportunity this time is, and to really be surrendered to and open to whatever the Lord wants to do in us during this time, because I think it's really important that we are preparing ourselves intentionally to step into the calling of what the next season is going to look like. And I think that it's really important to not be complacent and settle for what life was like before all of this, but rather really just work to create a new normal and step into this new calling, new season, so that we can make next year the best year Trinity's ever had. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I love you guys.
Hey guys, I hope y'all are doing well. I can't believe that a whole nother year of high school has already gone by and that summer is right here. But yeah, something I want to talk to y'all about is just how to study the Bible. And so, yeah, I know that during the summer we have a lot of free time, and so I just want to encourage y'all to be intentional with studying the Bible. But also I want to share with y'all some things that I've been learning about how to study it. And so, yeah, I think that it is very important that we learn how to study the Bible, because we need to be able to have an accurate view of who God is, and it's very important that we have an accurate view of who God is, because I think that our view of God affects everything else in our life. So, yeah, as Mr. T always says, the first 3 rules of studying the Bible are context, context, context. So, yeah, this couldn't be more true and more important, because if we don't understand the historical and cultural context of the Bible, then we can't come away with a right understanding or a right application of it. And so, yeah, we need to make sure that whenever we read a text in the Bible that we understand who wrote it, who they were writing to, what circumstances they were in, when they wrote it, and just really be able to understand just the context of it historically and culturally. And the second thing is that the Bible is a book about God. Now, I know that this seems super obvious and like, why are you even telling me this? But yeah, I think that oftentimes we get this backwards, and we go to the Bible asking, who am I and what does God tell me to do, but this is kind of an incorrect way to study the Bible, because the Bible is a book about God, and so we can't come away with an accurate view of it if we aren't studying the Bible looking with a lens of who God is. So yeah, 1 Corinthians 13:12 says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known." So as we learn more about God, we also learn more about ourselves. In fact, we can't have a true knowledge of ourselves apart from knowledge of the Father, because He is our Creator, and I think that this verse clearly displays that. And so, yeah, so next, I think this is the last thing I'm going to say, but we need to let our minds transform our hearts. I think this is another thing that we get backwards, because we often live based off of our feelings, and I just think that we can't base our relationship with the Lord and our understanding of the Lord on our feelings. And so a verse that helps show this is Romans 12:2-3, and that says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." So yeah, the heart cannot love what the mind doesn't know. That's something that the Lord's been teaching me, and yeah, so as the knowledge as we grow our knowledge of God's character, then like we can't help but to fall so much deeply in love with him. So yeah, I would just encourage y'all, I would greatly encourage y'all to study the Bible this summer and use your time wisely, and just keep in mind these tips and practice them, and just really make sure that we have an accurate view of who God is. So yes, I hope that y'all have a good summer.
Hey guys, Brady here. Well, guys, we made it. We made it to the end of this crazy school year, and I don't know, I just wanted to offer some wisdom and some advice kind of going into this summer season, just kind of different life. We're not in school, we're not doing necessarily the same things that we typically do, and our routines and schedules are a little bit different. So I think it's, important to make sure that we're just grounded in ourselves and walking a path that glorifies the Lord. And I don't know, I just have some advice to give. I was reading in James the other day, and I don't know, let me read this. I'll read the passage and then just kind of tell you what I got out of it. So it says, this is James 1:19 through 25-ish. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger, for the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls. And hear this is the important part. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away, and at once forgets what he was like. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, he will be blessed in his doing. I think, I think this passage has, I just think it has a lot of importance in, number one, the way that we read the Bible and the way that we're in the Lord's Word. I think it's vital, especially in the summer. We're not at school, we're not in Bible class, we're, out with our friends doing our own thing, and we're not necessarily around the same influences that are in our lives, and there's just distractions and temptations, and there's things about summer that aren't necessarily easy if you walk a path that glorifies the Lord. And number one, I think being in the Word is a vital thing. That's so important, especially when we're in the summer kind of doing our own stuff. But if you're going to be in the Word and you're going to read it and, check it off your list, you're almost doing no good. Not like the Lord can't use that and still, find a way to speak to you through that. Absolutely he can. But if you truly want to grow and, you want the Word to take, root in your heart and actually affect you, you have to learn to be a doer of the Word. And that's not easy. That's a hard thing to do. But reading the Bible isn't just something we do just to check it off our list or just to knock out the 3 or 4 chapters that we have on our Bible reading plan that, helps us read the Bible in a year. If it takes you 5 years to read the Bible and when you read it, you choose to be a doer of it, good for you, man. That's great. And I don't know, I just think that the Lord really wants us throughout our whole lives, not just in the summer or in the school year or whenever it is. He wants us to be doers of the Word. And like I said, a while back in my last video, it's been tough times lately. The world's kind of going through crazy stuff, and he's going to use that to grow us and to shape us even more. And it can't get any better than trials that are testing our faith and being in the Word and growing through that. I just think it's important. So this summer, don't get too caught up in all the fun. Remember that it's important to be in the Word, and your relationships with people are important, and the friends that you have need to help you be a doer of the Word and help you walk that path that glorifies the Lord the best you can. So Thank y'all for a great school year, and I hope y'all have a great summer.